Hey there, Ebby here. Welcome back to the channel. I can't believe I actually got to go to St Lucia for Christmas. This is actually not my first time going to St Lucia. This is my third time, but this is the first time I'm actually going to be taking all of my cameras and documenting our entire stay on the island. We'll be spending some time at the resort, spending some time in the family home and the area of Castries, and we'll also be going on and around the island trip, going around to different stops, and I will be capturing some amazing photos along the way. Now this video is going to be one of the longest videos, probably the longest video I've ever made on this channel. So sit down, grab some popcorn, and come with me and enjoy the journey as I take you on this trip that I went to St Lucia for 10 days in December 2023. St Lucia is a beautiful island in the Caribbean. It's a small island with a population of about 180,000 people. It covers a land area of 617, that's 617 square kilometers. A couple of small facts about St Lucia. St Lucia is the only sovereign country in the world that's named after a woman. The capital of St Lucia is called Castries. And also another fun fact, there were 7 times British colonized and also 7 times French. The reason I'm going to St Lucia is that my girlfriend and life partner is from this country, so we have a lot of family over there. The first order of business is actually getting to the island. Now St Lucia has a lot of people in the diaspora living outside of the country, and one of the main places where people live is right here in Canada. So we have a direct flight that I think goes about 2-3 times a week directly to the island. After checking into my personal gate, if you don't know, my name is Ebby, EBI. I was checking into gate E81, and when you look at it on the board, E81 actually looks like EBI, so it's like a personalized gate for me. So after boarding the plane and after the plane got a quick hose down, we were in the air heading towards St Lucia. This is not my first time traveling with film, so I made sure to get everything hand checked. But one thing I forgot to do was finish off the rolls in all of the cameras that I was taking. So I had rolls of film in all the cameras that I was taking down with me, even my Polaroid camera. I'm going to be talking a little bit about cameras later on in this video, so stay tuned to the cameras to see what camera I was bringing along with me on this trip. After waiting in that customs lines for an hour, St. Lucia, you got to do better. If you want people to come back to your country, you got to do better with that customs line. It just took an hour and a half for no apparent reason. After getting picked up by my daughter, my partner, and her cousin, we headed off to the resort where we're going to be staying for the first 7 days of our trip, and where we're going to be having some fun on the beach and getting some sun. On this trip, I was going to be bringing almost all my cameras with me. I'm going to be bringing my Leica M2, Pentax 6x7, my Yashica Mat 124G, my Polaroid Mini 8, and also I was going to be bringing my point and shoot camera, which is the Nikon Teletouch 300 AF. This camera is the beast of a camera. I'm going to be making a dedicated video about this camera coming up on the channel in a little bit, so stay tuned and subscribe for more content. As for film, I did bring 35 rolls of film. Yes, 35. That is much more than I anticipated I was going to bring, but I bulk loaded some HP5, so I had about 18 to 20 rolls of HP5, and I also brought a bunch of color film as well. I'm going to be putting a breakdown on the screen of all the film that I brought with me on this trip. Medium format 35, as well as some Polaroid film that I was going to be bringing and shooting on this trip. It's a lot, I know. I didn't end up using all of this film, but I did use a good number of them. It's always better to have and not need than to need and not have. For the first 2 days in St. Lucia, I was simply going to be exploring the resort and the surrounding areas. So I loaded up some film and I headed out to get some shots. Now on this third day, we're going to be going to Rodney Bay Mall. Now Rodney Bay Mall is like, it's just a mall and there's like stores around. There's also people around. I didn't get any B-roll of myself or what was going on in the area, but I did take out my cameras and take some shots. And this is what you're viewing right now. So on the next day, which was a Saturday, the day before we went out, my daughter also came with us on the street, but she couldn't come with us to the party on the street party on the Friday night. So the next day I had to go pick her up in the morning from the family member that we left her with. And also I wanted to explore the streets of Rodney Bay. Now I wanted to bring her along on this journey with me as I go walking around the street, but she got really bored really quickly, and as you see later on in this video. But I did end up exploring the streets, going on a walk. This day was the day that I walked the most out of all the days I was in St Lucia. So yeah, enjoy. I finished the black and white in my Leica M2. I finished about 3 rolls of black and white before I loaded in my first roll of Colorplus.
You're getting really annoying.
Who's getting annoying?
The person I'm standing next to. Yeah, two more to go.
Now, after exploring the streets of Rodney Bay around the resort, I did end up going back to the beach. And once I got to the beach, I finished off my roll of Colorplus. And after finishing that roll of Colorplus, I wanted to load in another roll of color film, and I loaded in Luminar 100.
What is it?
After a long day, I just went back to the resort and just chilled for the rest of the night, because the next day we were going to be leaving the resort and heading off to Castries, where the family home is of my partner, and we're going to be staying there for the last couple of days on Christmas Day, on Boxing Day, and the last couple of days of our trip. After checking out of the resort, we headed off to Castries, where the family home was. It was a nice experience being there. There's a beautiful garden around the family home, so I just decided to explore the area around the home on this day as we got home, taking some photos of the garden, taking some photos of the surrounding area. The next day was Christmas Day. Now on this day, I didn't end up taking as much photos as I wanted to, mostly because I just ended up chilling and talking with family members. We did have a couple of entertainments that came to entertain us, and I did end up taking a couple of photos of that particular entertainment that came. I also loaded up at least 4 packs of Polaroid film that I ended up shooting and just giving away to people, because that's what you do with Polaroid film. I enjoyed taking Polaroids. People enjoyed receiving the Polaroids. Now, this particular batch of Polaroid film, you can see that they're a little bit colorful. a little more colorful than the regular white border ones or the black border ones. And the reason was I got a great deal on these ones. I got them for $40 for 7 packs. 7 packs of Polaroid film for $40. I couldn't refuse it, so I picked it up and brought it on the trip with me. The next day, we were on a boat. We're going to be going around the island on this boat, and entire family came out for this trip. On this round the island trip, I was going to be shooting some Colorplus that I received on Christmas Day as a gift. I'm going to be shooting some Colorplus on my Leica M2, and also be shooting some Cat Labs 100 on my Pentax 6x7. I also had some Ektar. I also had black and white film loaded in my point and shoot camera. So you're going to be seeing a lot of different photos on this day. You're also going to might be seeing some of the same photos, some of the same scenes shot on different cameras.
Only number ones and number twos go into those bowls. Anything but that should be placed into the bins provided for you. They make a bread out of that cassava, and you get into a variety of flavors like the chocolate, the nuts, the berries, the sweet, the salted, the codfish, and the original, just to name a few.
One of the main tourist attractions in St Lucia are the pitons. The pitons, the gros pitons, and petit pitons, which stand for big and small. The pitons are, or the pythons, whatever you choose to call them. Don't call them pythons. They're called the pitons. The pitons are the main attraction here on the island. A lot of people come here just to view it. There's a hotel or a resort that overlooks the pitons, which is one of the most expensive resorts in the world. I forget the name. I'll put the name in the description here for you to check out. But if you're ever in St. Lucia, you have to come and check out the pitons. As part of the trip that we paid for, we're going to be getting the boat cruise around the island. We're also going to be passing the pitons as we did, and we're also going to be visiting the sulfur springs. Now, once we got to the sulfur springs, you had two options. You could either go into the sulfur springs and do a sulfur bath with the ash from the volcano, or you can get a tour and drive into the volcano. Now, the last time I was here, I did the sulfur spring bath, did all the clay stuff. It was fun, but this time I wanted to go drive into the volcano, because what they said was that you're going to be driving into a volcano. So I literally thought we're going to be driving into a volcano. I don't know what my mind thought it was going to be, but it didn't end up being what I thought it was going to be, because once we got there, they said, as soon as you got to this part of the island, you've been driving into a volcano. Now, the volcano didn't look like what I thought a volcano was going to look like. Maybe in my mind, I thought it was going to look like the volcanoes in Iceland, but it wasn't.
What bus are we on?
Number 2.
Okay.
Who's the driver?
I don't know.
If the concentration of the gas increases, it becomes the opposite, where one don't smell the gas anymore. When you don't smell the gas, it is already toxic.
And once we got back to land, I did end up exploring the marina a bit, taking some photos of some boats that they have on the marina. It was a beautiful day. On the last full day we had on the island, I really wanted to go to the Castries market and explore this main city itself. But when I woke up that morning, I was feeling very sick. So I didn't end up going to explore the main city. But what I did do was explore the area that the family home was in. I walked up and down the streets and took some photos. I ended up loading what is the most expensive film that I took on this trip with me, which is the NPH 400. Now, one roll of this film goes for about $40, and I had 2 rolls that I brought on this trip with me. I only ended up shooting 1 roll. On the last day, the day we're leaving, our flight was at 3 o'clock. I woke up early that morning. I wanted to finish off the rolls I had in my camera. I had some Kodak Gold on my Pentax 6x7, as well as some Colorplus left in my Leica M2. Once we got to the airport, we checked in, walked out onto the tarmac, into the plane. It was a beautiful experience at the airport getting out of the island. They refused to hand check my film. I don't know why security refused to hand check my film. I didn't want to push it. I didn't want to fight because we were a little bit late for our flight, but they ended up scanning all my rolls of film. I was a little annoyed at the fact that they didn't hand check it, but as you've seen throughout this video, everything turned out fine. Not everywhere hand checks your film. If you're shooting film in a different part of the world, make sure you try to hand check your film because some films don't respond the best to x-rays or depend on the machines that you're using to scan at the airport. Yeah, we got on the plane. We had a little bit of a delay before we were able to take off, but we took off and landed back in Canada safely. Thank you, Air Canada Rouge. Not the best flight in the world, but you know, to get you from point A to point B. I ended up shooting 27 rolls of film, 11 black and white and 16 color, both 35 and 120. I shot color, I shot black and white, and I also shot one roll of E6 film that I haven't developed, so you didn't see it at all in this particular video. I'm saving it for another video down the line. I thoroughly enjoyed my time in St Lucia, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video, watching the photos that I was able to take. A lot of it I didn't capture on my camera because I was in the moment enjoying what I was seeing, enjoying being there, being present. But the photos I was able to capture, I am going to cherish for the rest of my life. This was one of those trips that you get to make once in a lifetime, and I was definitely happy that I got a chance to be there. All in all, St Lucia during Christmas was a wonderful experience. I enjoyed every moment I spent there. I enjoyed the images I was able to capture. I enjoyed the time, the people, the vibes, the environment, the colors. I enjoyed being on the island. I definitely will be going back at some point in the future, maybe again for Christmas this year, who knows. But St Lucia, you have my heart. I definitely be returning. And yeah, but let me know what you think about this video in the comment section down below. This is definitely the longest and most time-taking video that I've ever made. Let me know if you like this sort of content in the comment section down below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, make sure you stay safe, make sure you film, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.